So glad to be with you guys here this morning. First, a little disclaimer, I'm just going to get this out of the way. If my voice sounds a little raspy or if I have to cough up here, I've been battling a chest thing for the last 3-4 days, so please bear with me this morning. I appreciate you doing that. Well, hey, last Sunday, we got a chance to take our boys to an Angel game. This is a picture of them doing it for Stone, our smallest one. It was his very, very first Angel game. He made it through about 4 innings. Yeah, until he was like, "Can I have your phone, please?" He's 4, he'll get there. But we had a blast. We got to, after the game on Sundays, they let kids go run around the bases, and Stone did great, running from first to the mound to kind of second to the outfield until security were like, "We're just going to run with you because you don't know what you're doing." But it was great. I let them wear Angel stuff. As a family, we bleed Dodger blue, but we made an exception. They were playing the Astros, so it was okay. We always root against those guys. But anyways, we had a great time. And as the boys were running around the bases, kind of on the field, it just brought me back to my childhood and how much I love baseball, and getting it to share it with them was just such a joy. And this morning, we're going to get to talk about baseball a little bit more, but not exclusively, because in our summer blockbuster series this morning, we're looking at The Sandlot. Now, if this is your first time here with us this summer, our blockbuster summer series is simply taking a different movie each week, getting to unpack it a little bit, and really see the nuggets of it that point us towards Jesus, towards loving him and loving each other more. The Sandlot came out in 1993. I was 9 years old, so I was like the perfect target audience for the movie. But it also resonated with my dad and the generations before him, because it's all about this group of boys in the summer of 1962 in San Fernando Valley, and it perfectly captures the spirit of just the 60s in Southern California and some of the nostalgia of it. It's an amazing film, and today we get to talk about it. It, to me, and this is just me personally, has the best ending of any movie of all time. It ends with Benny the Jet Rodriguez as a Dodger, stealing home against the Giants, getting a crucial win. I don't know. There's nothing in cinema to me that could be any better, but that's just me. I love it so much. But really, what The Sandlot speaks to me so heavily about is about a boy who deeply needs community, who shows us that we deeply need community. And it's about another boy who steps up as a leader and leads so well. And lastly, it's a story about grace and mercy, about the delight that is found in a lopsided and unfair trade. And my hope for us today as we unpack this classic story is that it points us back to the heart of the gospel, back to the heart of God's love for us, that we're reminded of what it means to be a redemptive community on adventure together, that the church, is so much better. It's at its best when we invite, when we equip, and we love those around us. That following Jesus is far better than anything else, even a steal of home against the Giants. Hey, pray with me as we get going this morning. Jesus, I thank you for the chance that we're here this morning, God, to worship you together. That in community, we get to unpack your word a little bit, that we get to just talk about what it means to follow you and help others follow you well. In your name, amen. All right, so I know not all of you have seen the film, The Sandlot. You maybe should at some point. But to give you kind of a quick synopsis of the movie follows, is kind of centered around a little boy named Scotty Smalls, who in the summer of 1962 moves to San Fernando Valley with his family. He doesn't know anybody. He's kind of out of his element, but he knows that he likes baseball, even though he knows nothing about baseball. And he looks to find a community of friends through that. And his first attempt goes terribly wrong. He steps onto the field, and he's wearing dress pants, a buttoned-up, tucked-in shirt. He's got a fishing hat that goes out till about here, and he has a toy plastic mitt. He's completely out of his depth, yet he knows that he wants to connect with others. He sees baseball as his pathway to finding community, and his story is like so many of ours, that he knows, and we know, that we have a deep-rooted need for community. You know, all of us, we're all very different. All of us have different interests and stories and past. But one of the things that connects us is that we are hardwired to connect with others. Whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, no matter where you're getting your energy from, we are all hardwired with community in mind. God created you not to be on an island by yourself. He created you to live in community. And not just in the community of your family, but the community of your neighborhood, the town, the city, your workplace, where you are at. We are hardwired to find commonalities, to create bonds with each other. And when we're lacking in that, we feel that need. We feel the ache when we lack community, because we know that that ache speaks to that something is deeply missing. In the Sandlot, Scotty goes out for one try with the guys, and he fails miserably. And he's resigned to stay in his room all summer by himself until his mom kind of steps in to encourage him. So this is our first clip we're going to watch right here.
Night, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. It was an accident.
Scotty, have you made any friends yet?
No,
Why not, honey?
'cause I'm still new.
I don't want you sitting around in here all summer fiddling with this stuff like you did last summer and the one before. I know you're smart, and I'm proud of you. I want you to get out into the fresh air and make some friends. Run around, scrape your knees, get dirty. Climb trees, hop fences, get into trouble, for crying out loud. Not too much, but some. You have my permission. How many mothers do you know who say something like that to their sons?
Well, none mothers, I guess.
Honey, I want you to make some friends this summer. Lots of them.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not good at anything, Mom. Face it, I'm just an egghead.
Honey, you'll always be just an egghead with an attitude like that.
Awesome. I just love the encouragement and what his mom sees. That, hey, it is not okay for you just to sit and hear it this whole summer. That you need to go and make friends. Because oftentimes when we're lacking in community, it can feel like I just have to sit here and just hope that something happens. And sometimes it does, and that's kind of my story I'll get into in a second. But we are called in that need for community to go out and do our best to find it. And that's what I love. One of the things I love about Scotty is he is active in finding community. You know, here at Ranch Church, we have men's groups and we have women's groups. We have beach days. We do all these things, not just to do them, but to invite you into, to invite your friends into, because we understand that all of this is so much better together. And I resonate so deeply with Scotty's story, because in a lot of ways, I've kind of lived that story. When I was 12, too, I moved to a new town from Phoenix, Arizona, up to Danville, California, in the Bay Area. And moving before the 6th grade, not an easy time to move. And I was going through stuff. I had big old glasses and zits and braces and headgear. I was just a disaster. But I still had this craving for community. And I remember so distinctly one summer night, we'd been there for 3 or 4 weeks. We were at some get-together with some people from church, and I'm sitting outside, kind of near this basketball hoop by myself. And I'll never forget this kid named Josh Perry. He came up to me, and he said 4 words that kind of changed my summer and middle school experience. Here were the 4 words. They're really profound, deep theological words. Do you want to hear them? You ready? Want to shoot some hoops? I know. Just, wow. So profound. But for me, as a 12-year-old, I remember trying to play it cool, but inside I was like exploding. I was like, yes, this is what I'm dying for. Like being in the desert without water, this is just exactly what I needed. And from that first conversation, a friendship began to form. And Josh and I were friends through middle school and high school, and we were roommates for a year together in college. And We got to be groomsmen in each other's weddings, and it was just all started. Do you want to shoot some hoops? Nothing crazy, nothing outlandish. And this is why for our students, we're always encouraging them, like, just put the invite out there. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no, but we never know what's going to happen when we sit with someone at lunch and we just share a kind word. When we say hi to someone that's new at our English class or whatever. When we just say, do you want to shoot some hoops? We never know how much that can impact someone's life. Josh had no idea probably. He knew I was new, but he didn't know that I was just dying on the inside. Or maybe he did. I don't know. But I was, and it was just from that one conversation that so much changed for me. For Jesus, near the very end of his life before his crucifixion, he's meeting with his disciples in the upper room, and he speaks to the deep need that we all have for community, that being loved and loving others is something we all desperately crave. When he says in John 13, 34 to 35, he says this. So now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you. You should love each other. Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples. And so this is the new commandment Jesus gives his disciples and to us. Love each other as I have loved you. And why would he give us this commandment? It's because Jesus knows that love transforms, that love gives breath and life, not just to the person who receives it, but to the person giving it as well, that we all long to find love. That the love of a community surrounding us, encouraging us, understanding us, and challenging us is what we need. We all crave community, and we all have a need, and we are all called to invite and equip others. Scotty identifies the neighborhood boys as the ones he wants to be friends with. But after one attempt has gone really wrong, and then he gets a black eye from playing catch with his dad, he thinks he's blown his chance. And in the clip we're about to see here, he's just kind of sitting on the porch saying to himself, this is kind of my summer now, just sitting outside. When he's approached, much like I was by Josh Perry, he's approached by Benny Rodriguez, the leader of the Sandlot, with this invitation.
I'm gonna go play some ball and we need an extra guy. You wanna go?
Nah, thanks.
Why not? Don't you like baseball?
Oh, yeah, but
But what?
my glove. It's busted. So, I can't go. Thanks, though.
It's okay. I got an extra one. Come on, let's go.
Mom, I'm gonna go play some ball. Be back in a little while.
Come on, let's go. You ever have a paper out?
I helped a guy once.
Okay. Well, chuck it like you would throw paper. When your arm gets here, just let go. Just let go. It's that easy.
How do I catch it?
Just stand there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it.
About time, Benny. My claws are going out of style. They already are, Schwartz. Shut up. Told you, Benny.
Smalls, throw it to second.
Okay. Not again. It's a waste of time, Benny. Please catch it. Please catch it. Please catch it. Please catch it.
Right.
He's all right.
Told you so, man. Okay, let's play some ball.
Yeah, let's play some ball.
All right.
Yeah, I know it.
love it so much. Baseball is the best. You can't convince me otherwise. But so Benny is approached by Scotty with a simple invitation. Hey, we need one more. Come and play with us. And Scotty's first reaction is to decline. Maybe his pride's a little hurt. He's got a black eye. But he has an excuse too. Hey, my glove is busted. And it's also made of plastic. I've got this busted glove. It's no good. And so Benny could have easily taken this excuse and been like, oh, you don't have a glove? Great, I'll find someone else. I tried. You didn't want to. I'm out of here. But Benny doesn't do that. He looks at the ridiculous outfit he's wearing. You saw that hat, just terrible. And he sees how little Scotty knows about baseball. Yet not only does he invite him to join them, but he equips him. He equips him with giving him the right glove that he needs. He takes time out to run out to left field there with him and explain it. This is how you throw a baseball. And he learns it remarkably fast, but that's also Hollywood for you. But Benny is taking the time to show him how to play. He's equipping him with knowledge. He's equipping him with actual equipment. And Jesus has given us this commandment, love others. And that love starts with being inviters, with offering chances at community to others. But sometimes an invitation isn't enough. Sometimes we have to give people the equipment they need. We have to give them a new baseball glove. And in a world where a lot of people have excuses about following Jesus, some that are valid, some that are maybe not as valid, we are still called to be inviters and equippers to both believers and non-believers. Even when we see that maybe they don't have the right equipment, that maybe they don't have the look to fit in, we are called to invite them. Part of the clip you didn't see there, but there is so much pushback from the other 7 boys on bringing Scotty in. And there's insults being hurled there. There's all this stuff of like, hey, this kid cannot play. He cannot play. And Benny is not dissuaded by that. He says, I see something in this kid, and we are going to invite him in. He sees past their dismissiveness, and he equips them with knowledge of where to stand, of how to throw. And most of all, he gives Scotty his attention. He gives him his patience. And after Scotty's welcomed into the group, they play baseball for a little bit more, and then they're getting to walk home. And I love it. He's getting to say bye to all these new friends. And Benny tells him, hey, same time tomorrow. We're there every morning, 8 a.m. or whatever. And Scotty, you can just see it. He's just like, all right, man, I am in. And one of my favorite scenes, we didn't get a chance to clip it here, but that same door where Scotty had said to his mom, I'm going out to play. You see him running inside just saying, Mom, guess what? In the way that only a 9-year-old boy can, to just exclaim that I have friends. And if you have kids and you've seen them come home from school or sports or anywhere talking about the friends that they've made, you know that there's far, far few feelings that are better of seeing your kids connect with others, because you know the need for that. So how do we equip others? How do we be Benny to those around us? To those around us? In Romans 12, 9-13, Paul instructs us in this way when he says, don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. The needs of the people around you are all going to be different. Yet in order to invite and equip well, to be people who do that well, to fulfill the commandment to love others, it starts with how we view others. Notice some of the key words in this passage: genuine, delight, rejoice, enthusiastically, eager. What do these words convey? They convey a person of authenticity, a person who is ready to love, who doesn't have to do anything, but who gets to serve, who gets to love, who gets to invite and equip. And when a community of committed Jesus followers follows out and lives out what Paul is talking about here, it is so, so powerful. Earlier, you saw the picture of our son Stone, the little guy. When he was born, they kept us in the hospital a couple extra nights. There were some issues going on with his heart they just wanted to keep an eye on. And they sent us home saying, hey, in 2 weeks or so, I need you guys to go see a heart specialist just to see how his heart's developing. We think everything's going to be all right, but best to be safe and just go and take a look. So 2 weeks later, I'm in a meeting at work, and I get a call from Rachel saying, hey, things are kind of crazy right now. I'm getting sent to Los Robles Hospital in Thousand Oaks. We were living in Ventura at the time. Stone has a coarctation of his left aorta, which is a heart defect where the aorta is pinched and there's restricting the blood flow. And they're telling us, hey, your son needs to be in heart surgery like yesterday. So we're going to put you on a helicopter. We're going to fly you to Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. And the next 48 hours were a whirlwind of meeting with doctors and nurses and explaining to us how our son needs to have heart surgery. And we were feeling numb and exhausted and completely out of our depths. So Stone has the surgery. It was successful. Everything goes well. The doctors and nurses took incredible care of us and of him. And then it's time to sit down with the finance people at the hospital, which is just the best. And we're sitting with them, and they're kind of explaining this, still pretty numb, still just exhausted. And they're explaining, hey, this is what your insurance is going to cover, but this is what you're going to have left over after everything. And it's going to be between $8,000 to $10,000. We're sitting there just like, I don't have $8,000 to $10,000. So we had the idea, hey, let's put up a GoFundMe page, and let's just see if maybe we can get like half of it, and then we can get on a payment plan, and we'll just chip away at it. But maybe a couple people are going to respond to this. So we make the page, and then like an hour or so after going live, my email is just blowing up. Just GoFundMe that, or notification from GoFundMe, da-da-da-da-da. And there is just an outpouring of support. People not only giving money, but people sending us prayers, people sharing stories of how, yeah, our daughter went through this 3 years ago, and I know it's scary, but we got through it, and we're praying for you. And it's overwhelming. And yes, some people we knew, but people posting it on their feed and sharing it with a friend of a friend of a friend, and just strangers sharing, giving us hundreds of dollars. Just overwhelming to see people rally around us. And Stone was in the hospital for 6 days, and by the time we had gone home, not only had we been able to pay off the debt, we had money left over to pay for his care later on, for more doctor's visits and other things. And it was just overwhelming to see believers step up. People from Hawaii to New York to Costa Rica to Ireland, people praying for us and loving us, to see the community of God living out this verse in Romans. Just absolutely, absolutely incredible. And when we step up, when we love each other, this is what we see, that this is what it's supposed to be like. That when we love each other, we see how amazing community is supposed to be. So the rest of the Sandlot continues, and there's a lot of the kind of fun summer tropes that happen of slumber parties and shenanigans at the pool and the baseball game against the rival team. But really the crux of the film kind of revolves around a missing baseball. The gang needs a baseball, and Scotty, as the new kid, goes, hey, I'm going to step up. He runs back to his house, goes into his stepdad's office, and grabs a baseball, signed by somebody named Baby Ruth or something, I don't know. And so he gives this baseball to them. They don't know it's signed by Babe Ruth. The ball gets hit over this fence to this creepy old house where there's this dog called the Beast, who they are all terrified of. And so the rest of the movie is kind of the shenanigans of their trying to get this baseball and using robotic claws, and just turns into a very 90s movie at that time. But then the Benny, who had been teaching Scotty how to play baseball, he gets a dream from the ghost of Babe Ruth, this is all true, who reminds him that heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Truly powerful words. And he puts on his PF Flyers, jumps over the fence, grabs the ball, gets chased around the whole neighborhood through the pool and a picnic and a carnival or something. I don't remember exactly. Until they get back to the Sandlot, the fence falls on the dog. It looks like he's not going to make it. And they lift the fence off the dog. And what do you know? The dog is just this big old softy the whole time. It's so great. But then they go to bring the ball to the owner of the house. And for me, the scene we're going to see right now is just a picture of God's love for us. And so as you're watching this scene, I want you to think about how we see God's love for us represented in this scene of a picture of a thoroughly lopsided transaction that Jesus does for us. Take a look at this.
Crazy, you're the one who saved me. I'll never waste what's spent.
Yeah, well, that was my stepdad's ball. I took it without asking. It was signed by Babe Ruth.
George signed this?
George Herman Ruth? Yeah.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand. Hold on. Hold on. Here. I'll trade you.
That's really nice of you, but that ball really is signed by Babe Ruth.
So is this one. With the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
Man. Reverse row. Lou Gehrig.
Babe Ruth! But why would you trade? That one's all chewed up.
I got a lot of good stuff. Look at that stuff. Besides, you need it more than I do.
You knew Babe Ruth?
George? I sure did. And he knew me. He was almost as great a hitter as I was. I would have broken his record, too, but...
You went blind.
Yep. I used to crowd the plate so the strike zone almost disappeared. Pitchers hate that. That's the way I played. 100% all the time. Baseball was life. And I was good at it. Real good. And then, one day, a high fast went in. Pow! Lights went out.
I don't think we could take this ball.
I'll tell you what. You guys come by here once a week and talk baseball with me. We'll call it an even trade.
Deal!
So Scotty is in a bind. He's in a pickle. They finally recovered his stepdad's ball, but it is slobbered on, it's mangled, it's ruined beyond all compare. He has a problem. He has no way of solving this on his own. And so you enter Mr. Myrtle, played by the amazing James Earl Jones, and the boys find out Mr. Myrtle is not the grump or the recluse they maybe thought he was. He's not someone to avoid, but rather he is kind, that he is generous, and that he is patient. And Mr. Myrtle recognizes the plight that Scotty is in, and he understands the mistake. You know, he says, "You're dead meat." And instead of saying, "Oh, well, get off my property, go fix my fence," which he very easily could have, "Stop attacking my dog," Mr. Myrtle makes him an offer. He says, "Hey, you give me this Babe Ruth ball. It's got dog slobber and it's destroyed. And I'm going to give you this ball signed by the 1927 Yankees that's in pristine condition." And in the 60s, and even to this day, the 1927 Yankees are known as the best team of all time. They're within baseball circles, they're revered as the team of teams. And so these boys are looking at this ball and going, "This doesn't make a lot of sense to us. This ball was only signed by Babe Ruth, and now it's destroyed. You're going to give us this one, now it's got Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and all these other guys. Like, this doesn't make any sense. In exchange, he says, just come and talk baseball with me once a week. In exchange, just have some relationship with me. Talk baseball with a guy who probably knows more about baseball. He's forgotten more about baseball than they'll ever learn. These boys that love baseball, who would kill to spend time with this guy even without this exchange. He says, just spend some time with me, and it's yours. And this is grace on display. This is the transaction that God offers to us daily. Hey, give me your mangled up brokenness, your sin, and I'm going to give you righteousness. I'm going to give you salvation. I'm going to give you forgiveness. We're going, hey, what's the catch? What's the catch? He's like, just spend time with me. Just learn from me. Just obey me. And it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what Jesus offers us. Your sin, my sin, in exchange for the clean slate. And I love how throughout the boys are kind of like, especially Benny, like, we can't, I can't do this. This is not fair. And that's the whole point. It's not fair. And it's not supposed to be fair. They can't build enough fences to earn this baseball. You can't build enough fences or do enough things to earn God's love, to earn his forgiveness. You can't do enough. I can't do enough. It's not the point. The point is he takes our sin and the exact state it is, all mangled, chewed up, slobbered on, and gross. And he says, I see it. I'll take it. I'm going to give you something that's far, far better. But really, my favorite part of this whole clip is that it keeps panning to James Earl Jones 3 or 4 times, and he is just smiling. He's just beaming ear to ear. And he's blind, but he can hear their excitement. He knows what's going on. And he is just so excited to share this with them. It's not just like, this is the right thing to do. They're boys, so here, take this ball. I'm blind. I don't even need it, whatever. But he's delighted in it. He is finding so much joy in it. He sparkles as he gets to bless these boys. And my friends, this is a picture of God for us. He delights in sharing who he is with you and I. It's not a chore for God to love you. It's not this thing where he goes, these broken, messed up humans, I'm their only hope. I guess I'll love them. No, God delights in it. He delights in it. He wants to love you. He wants to shower you with his grace, with his forgiveness, with his compassion, with good things. If only you would just let go of the gross baseball and take this one. But yet, I know for me and so many of us, we want to hold on to that ball thinking, I can clean this. I can figure this out. Like, there's a way. It's still okay. I can clean it. It's going to be okay. And he's like, just take this baseball. It's so much better than the one you have. Just take the baseball. Our God takes great pleasure. He delights in a relationship with you and I. In Zephaniah 3:17, we see this. For the Lord your God is living among you. He is a mighty Savior who will take delight in you with gladness. With his love, he will calm all your fears. He will rejoice over you with joyful songs. God delights in you, and he delights in me. We are loved by the Most High King. We are sought after him as his precious sons and daughters. Because to him, you are worth the decidedly lopsided trade. You are worth it. And this is why we crave community, because we are designed for it. And this is why we invite and equip other people, because he is daily inviting and equipping us. We don't invite and equip out of the outpour of ourselves. We equip and invite because of how he has already done the same for us. Because it's the outpour of the lavish love that he has given us. So my friends, may you recognize the need that you have for community. May you pursue it. May you not resign yourselves to being alone, but pursue community. And would we all be inviting and equipping others, inviting them into it. And may we recall and live in the truth that we are delighted. That God is delighted in the exchange of our brokenness for his forgiveness, for a relationship with him that is far more valuable than any signed baseball. Pray with me as we worship. Jesus, I thank you, Lord, for the lopsided trade of my sin, for your forgiveness, Jesus. May we not forgive that, but Lord, may we live in it. And may the outpour of that be to love, to invite, and to equip. To be people who rejoice and who are enthusiastic, and who delight in the same way you delight in us, in sharing you with others. We worship you now in that truth.